How much fun is this? Hey, my friends, we have Terry on the run. Now, we have been traveling all around this great Commonwealth. We've made stops everywhere, and I got to tell you, the crowds have been unbelievable, but this one is beyond belief. I know why you're all here. You're here to see Suzanne. I can't tell you how awesome it is to be campaigning with Suzanne. She makes me better every single day. Bless you. Bless you. We are here in a moment, and we know we're in this moment because it's a defining moment for the future of our Commonwealth. 4 short days. 4 short days. We are going to decide. We are going to decide the future of this great Commonwealth of Virginia. Friends, it is our moment, our defining moment to change its trajectory. To change its trajectory so that we can, in fact, continue to relentlessly pursue a better life, relentlessly pursue prosperity. At a time when we hear self-centered, self-righteous politicians who are more worried about their own careers, they're more worried about their own interests than they are in the people that elected them to go serve. Friends, Mary's story about family and schools, it's a compelling one, and fortunately, it's all too frequent. We all know it. Our culture today is a culture where we actually have to fight against pressures to shelve hope, to accept mediocrity, to be told that low expectations are okay. Well, we will not be a commonwealth of low expectations. Friends, we're at this moment where we get to come together like never before. We get to come together for our children, for our grandchildren, for our nieces, for our nephews, for our neighbors. We get to make a statement. This is no longer a campaign. It is a movement across Virginia. And this movement is one where we as Virginians are ready to stand up and say that the Virginia promise, the promise for prosperity, the promise for a better life for our children, the promise that Virginia must, will, and absolutely will be the best place to raise a family, to live, to work. This is the Virginia we will build together. Friends, you can feel it. You can feel it. It's one thing to see it. It's another thing to hear it. But it is something totally different when we start to feel it. And what we're feeling is the spirit. It's the spirit of Washington and Jefferson and Madison and Monroe. It's the spirit of Patrick Henry. This is the Virginia that we know and love, and this is the Virginia that we will, in fact, take back. This is the Virginia. The Virginia that we have watched the progressive, liberal Democrats try to turn into California East, and we are all saying no right now. It is our moment. It is our on the ballot. It's Terry McAuliffe versus Virginia. That is what's on the ballot. Friends, my name is on the ballot, but you are all on the ballot with me. This is how we're going to win this. Let's just be clear. Terry McAuliffe on one side. He wants government to stand between parents and their children. He wants the FBI to come in and try to silence parents when they stand up for the rights of their children. Terry McAuliffe wants to force everybody to join a union. He doesn't want you to make your own choice. McAuliffe wants your employer to fire you if you don't get the vaccine, and then he wants to raise your taxes in the middle of the night without you knowing and send you a bill. He thinks it's his money. I know it's yours. Terry McAuliffe believes in government control. Well, friends, I believe in freedom and liberty, and that's why I'm running for governor. This is our moment to stand up for parents' rights. The Virginia law says that parents have a fundamental right to make decisions with regards to their children's education. And I will stand up. So friends, we sit here today, 4 days out. 4 days out. And let me just tell you what this feels like. Terry McAuliffe is driving 45 miles an hour down I-66, and I'm coming up 70 on the outside. And I'm telling you what's about to happen. What's about to happen is we are going to sweep our statewide office. Miaras is going to be the best Attorney General we've ever had. Winsome Sears is going to be the best Lieutenant Governor we've ever had. We are going to take back our House of Delegates big time. And we are going to win local offices all over Virginia, Board of Supervisors, City Councils, sheriffs, and school board seats all over Virginia. Friends, this is not going to be a lonely victory. We are going to sweep Republicans and across this Commonwealth and make a statement that will be heard around the world. The nation is watching us. The nation is watching us. Why? Why isn't it? Because there's only 2 statewide races, New Jersey and Virginia, and all eyes are on Virginia. We know this. So goes Virginia, as goes the nation. We know this. Friends, I get emails and notes, and our website blows up from parents all over Virginia. Glenn, stand up for our parents too. Virginians, stand up for our kids too, because the same thing is happening in our school districts. We are standing up not just for our kids, but for America's kids, and that is our responsibility as Virginians to lead. This is our moment. Every day I get asked, Glenn, what's going to happen on that first day? What's going to happen? So I want you to go on a walk with me, friends, because this is going to be amazing. On day one, Jason and Winsome and I, we get to stand under Mr. Jefferson's portico. And we get to place our right hand on the Holy Bible, and we get to swear to God Almighty that we're going to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And then we're going to walk down those steps, and we're going to stop for a minute. And Paige is going to join Jason, and Terrence is going to join Winsome. Suzanne's going to join me, and we're going to invite everybody else who has an interest in joining us for a moment of prayer. And we're going to ask God we're going to thank Him. We're going to thank Him for His providence. We're going to thank Him for His protection. We're going to thank Him for His provision. We're going to thank Him for the path He's laid in front of us and for giving us the ability to walk on it. And then we're going to ask Him for His strength to guide us so we can do the work that needs to be done. And then we're going to say amen, and then we're going to work. Friends, and on day one, we are going to cut the cost of living in Virginia by declaring a tax break for all Virginians. We know this. Our cost of living has gone through the roof. Virginians are moving away faster than they're moving here from the other 49 states. And the sad thing is the biggest group moving away are 26 to 35-year-olds. They're going someplace else to start their lives. They're hollowing out our future. And meanwhile, the progressives in Richmond, they overtaxed us in the middle of a pandemic, $2.6 billion, and they're going to do it again. That is your money, not Terry McAuliffe's, and we're going to go to work to get it back to you. So on day one, we're going to declare the largest tax refund in the history of Virginia. We are going to eliminate the grocery tax. We are going to suspend the latest increase in the gas tax for 1 year. Gas is too expensive. We're going to double everybody's standard deduction. And friends, we're going to work for our veterans on day one. Friends, let me tell you, USA, you're right. In Virginia, 1 out of 11 Virginians are veterans. 1 out of 11 have put their life on the line to protect our freedom. We all know freedom is not free, and our veterans defend it and protect us. And Virginia has done a terrible job of saying thank you. So on day one, we're going to go to work. It'll take us 3 years to build up to $40,000 of our veterans' retirement benefits. We're going to exclude from taxes so we can say thank you. I want our veterans to stay in Virginia, not move away. You make our communities better. You make our lives better. We appreciate you. When we add it all up, it's worth about $1,400, almost $1,500 in year one for a family of 4. My opponent, he's got hundreds of pages of policy. It's going to cost Virginians $16 billion, a $5,400 tax increase for every Virginia family. He thinks it's his money. I know it's your money. We're getting our cost of living down in Virginia, so you'll stay here. On day one, we're going to reestablish expectations of excellence in our schools. When my opponent was governor, when he was governor, 88 schools failed to get their accreditation. And rather than do the hard work and fix them, they just changed the standards so not one would fail. Today, Virginia ranks 50th in the nation, 50th in the standards to move forward in math and reading. 50th. Terry McAuliffe has left us with a legacy that we should call Leave Every Child Behind. It's coming to an end on day one. On day one, we're going to reestablish expectations of excellence in our schools. We are going to first decree that schools will never be closed again. Open 5 days a week, in-person education. But then we're going to fund in the largest education budget in the history of Virginia. We're going to raise teacher salaries. We're going to fund into facilities. We're going to fund special education. Virginia's kids with disabilities have suffered much increased support. But also on day one, we are going to launch the most aggressive charter school program you have ever seen so that Virginia parents have choice in our public schools. Virginia has 8 charter schools in the entire Commonwealth. 8. Maryland has 140. North Carolina has 190. We have 8. The teachers' unions have been blocking them forever. So on day one, we're launching 20 charter schools, and that is a down payment to give parents choice in the public school system. But we know it all starts with curriculum. It all starts with curriculum. So let me be very, very clear, crystal clear. We will teach accelerated math in our schools. We will award advanced diplomas in our schools. We will teach all history, the good and the bad, in our schools. Friends, we know. I mean, America is the greatest country on the planet. It's the greatest country on the planet. And we will teach all history because we have an amazing history, but we also have very dark, abhorrent chapters. We must teach them too so that we understand where we've come from so we can see where we will go. But friends, let me be clear. We will not teach our children to view everything through a lens of race. We won't. Friends, it's everything that we know is wrong. It divides us, it steals dreams, it pits kids against one another. It violates those immortal words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who implored us to be bigger than ourselves, better than ourselves, to judge one another based on the content of our character and not the color of our skin. And yet, we have seen a political agenda fused into our schools, so let me be clear. On day one, I will ban critical race theory from being On day one, we are going to stand up for law enforcement because they stand up for us. We have a 20-year high in murder rate. 4 of our great cities are ranked in the top 65 deadliest cities in America. Richmond at number 11, rocketing back to number 1, Norfolk, Hampton, Newport News. Terry McAuliffe doesn't care. When he was governor, the murder rate went up 43%. The rape rate went up every year. He stood up meeting with the Police Benevolent Association, who represents nearly 7,000 law enforcement heroes who put a bulletproof vest on every day to go to work to protect us. Friends, this is why 50 sheriffs have endorsed us. 4 have switched parties and become Republicans. We've been endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police, the Police Benevolent Association. Let me tell you right now, Jason Miyares is going to be the best top cop that Virginia has ever had. But we got to go to work on day one. So on day one, we're going to comprehensively fund law enforcement, increase salaries, increase funding. Brother, there he is. Salaries, fund equipment budgets, fund training, protect qualified immunity. We're going to fund into our mental health system. It's broken. And finally, friends, on day one, I will fire the entire parole board, and we're starting again.
If you haven't figured it out, Glenn Youngkin has a superpower, and that's common sense.
Friends, on day one, we're going to get this economy moving. It has been stalled, and we're going to reinvigorate it and find growth again in Virginia. Over the last 8 years, the states around us have lapped us. Maryland, North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, they have grown 70% faster economically than Virginia. 70. North Carolina generated 8 times the jobs that Virginia has. Tennessee, 6 times. Just 1 month ago, 4 short weeks ago, Ford Motor Company announced 4 big new plants. 11,000 jobs, 2 in Kentucky, 1 in Tennessee, 1 in Georgia, none in Virginia. I am tired of Virginia losing. Terry McAuliffe, when he was governor, touted all these business development deals. His economic development deals, 32 of them failed to create a single job, a single one. He announced 14,000 jobs, only 7,000 showed up. Let me be clear. In the world I came from, if somebody was leading a company like that, we fire them, we don't rehire them. So on day one, we got to go to work. It's open for business, no lockdowns, no shutdowns. Open for business. We are going to protect our right to work status in Virginia. We are. It's not an anti-union comment. It's a pro-worker comment. I was in a plant in Lynchburg. Half of it's union, half of it's non-union. It works great. My friends, here's what's going on. Terry McAuliffe looked at a camera and he said he will get rid of right to work when the bill comes to his desk, and the next day the unions paid him millions of dollars to run his campaign. He is bought and paid for. I am not. I will do what's right for Virginia. But we got to get Virginia moving. We got to get moving. So on day one, we will cut 25% of job-killing regulations. The code in Virginia is 37,000 pages long. Try to print that out at home, folks. We're going to cut that. We're going to cut 25% of job-killing regulation. We're going to provide a 12-month tax holiday for small business so you can keep your profits and grow and hire more people. Friends, we got to get Virginia back to work, so we're going to have a work training program for people to go into college or into a career. We have to grow a workforce to take a growing economy job. And we as Virginians got to get back innovating again. We're ranked 49th in the nation as best place to start a company. 49th. Only Connecticut is worse. I've been to Connecticut. We do not want to be Connecticut. We have to have incubators and accelerators and form capital and cut the regulations so businesses can start and people can live their dreams. Our plan, and let me be clear, governors do not create jobs, businesses and people do. This is what happens. So I can't wait to partner together, and our plan creates 400,000 jobs in 4 years, 10,000 startups. We are going to get Virginia moving so it lifts up all Virginians. Friends, on day one, and day one's going to be busy. It's going to be busy. Luckily, there's a day 2 and a day 3 coming, but on day one, we are going to make government work for us and stop telling us what to do all the time. It starts with our constitutional rights. We know they've been trampled on. Our First Amendment rights, our Second Amendment rights, our 10th Amendment rights. Friends, when this governor, when he opened up ABC stores and kept my church closed, I know he didn't start every day like I do. Friends, when the FBI can silence parents standing up for their kids, they don't understand the First Amendment. When Terry McAuliffe says he's going to take guns away from law-abiding citizens and he makes it easier for hardened criminals to get guns, he doesn't understand our Second Amendment. Finally, friends, our 10th Amendment, we have to stand up strong against Washington overreach, and Jason and Winsome and I are going to go to work battling for you against Washington overreach. And I got to be honest. Not stand inefficiency and waste, and yes, I'm going into government. So on day one, we're going to launch a government-wide audit, rooting out waste and fraud. And where we are starting is with the Virginia Employment Commission and the Department of Motor Vehicles. And here's how you're going to know it's working. You're going to call the DMV and 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, they're going to answer the phone. And number 2, they're going to say, "Hi, how may I help you?" Friends, it is supposed to be government for the people, of the people, by the people, not telling the people what to do all the time. Here we go. This is our moment. Right now, this is our moment. To make this happen, we have to go to work over the next 4 days, and let me tell you. So there was some pretty encouraging polls out last night. But I want you to know, polls don't win elections, votes do. Votes do. And so as we head into this last 4 days, it's whoever works the hardest, it's whoever scraps the hardest, who has skin knees, who has skin elbows, who's living it all on the court. And we are going to win this. We're going to win this. But friends, this is not about me. It's about you. It's not about Jason. It's not about Winsome. It's about us going to work for you. So let me be very clear. I want you to hire me to go work for you. This is what it's about. I accept, friends, but I can't do this by myself. I need you. I need to ask you to do 5 things. 5 things. Number 1, go vote. Go vote. Who has voted early? The rest of you got to get going. But when you go vote, or if you've already voted early, I need you to bring 10 friends. Friends, this is so important. 10 people you know who aren't here, 10 people who will vote for Republicans. You got to be responsible for getting them out to the polls. This is how we're going to win this. Second of all, I need everybody in here to get a red sign and put it in your yard. Put it in your yard. These red signs it's a permission slip for people to drive by your house and say, hey, I'll vote for him too. Friends, it's amazing what's happening across the Commonwealth. They're everywhere. Everywhere. I was just in Charlottesville, Virginia, and there's red signs everywhere. Third thing I need you is to volunteer. This democracy is not a spectator sport. It is a full contact sport. You must get in the arena with us. We need your time. Friends, today there's about 500 precincts open. On November 2nd, there's going to be 2,540 odd precincts open, and we got a staff, and we have more volunteers already than we've ever had in Virginia. We need more. We need people to be election observers. We need people to hand out sample ballots. We need people to knock doors and get everybody off their sofa and out to vote. We need volunteers. It is not a moment for you to say, maybe I can find time. It's a moment for you to say, I will make time. I need you to volunteer. Get on the website. Come to youngkinforgovernor.com. Go to the Fauquier County GOP website. Get signed up. We need you. We need you. Fourth thing is we need you to be our ambassadors. Jason and Winsome and I, we're interviewing with 8.5 million Virginians for this job. I haven't met them all yet. I'm trying. But what we do know is that you all have so many friends. Send out a note on email, call them, text them. You know what we stand for: low taxes, the best schools, the best jobs, safe communities, a government that works for us instead of telling us what to do. Friends, this is about our freedom, and it's time for you to get to work for us. And finally, and again, I don't want to presuppose where anybody is, but if you have a prayer life and you have a prayer list, put us on it, please. Put us on it, please. So are you ready to win? Let's win this thing. We're right here. We're on the goal line. Let's punch it in the end zone and win this thing. Let me tell you, on January 15th, when we in fact have a chance to be inaugurated to go work for you, my heart will overflow with privilege to work for you. I'll feel so honored. I will have such an amazing sense of service in my heart to go work for all of you as the 74th governor of this amazing Commonwealth of Virginia. God bless you all. God bless Virginia.